using the power of water to neutralize massive terrorist bombs.
2, 1. Things are still falling right now.
In the skies above, there's a new surface-to-air missile system that can take out all kinds of aircraft, even cruise missiles. And the art of the sniper. Can this new sniper rifle take fast, precise targeting to a whole new level? I'm Richard Makowitz. I spent 10 years as a Navy SEAL, and this is Future Weapons. In this urban patrol exercise, I'm operating as the automatic weapons gunner in a fire team. We're moving through a village where insurgents are known to operate. The rest of my team is armed with M4s, ideal for urban patrol, while I'm carrying the SAW M249 light machine gun, designed to put down suppressive automatic fire. The trade-off? This weapon can attract a lot of attention.
What you've got to remember is that if you're carrying the saw, you're carrying the big stick, and everybody in the neighborhood gets to see it.
Never forget, with a big weapon, you're a big target. I gotta run, get into position, find out where the shot's coming from, and put down suppressive fire.
The SAW's job is to keep the enemy pinned down. It has a firing rate of nearly 800 rounds a minute. It's still a beast of a weapon to carry. It tips the scales at a mighty 19 pounds, and that's before you add up to 35 pounds of ammo. And when it's time to enter the confines of a building, you have to rely on your buddies to go in first. In a close-quarter combat situation, a SAW gunner has some critical limitations. I've come to the Mystic Training Center in New Mexico, the largest privately operated military training site in the United States.
This is the SAW, Squad Automatic Weapon. It can put down a lot of firepower very quickly, but it fires a relatively light round, the 5.56, and it fires from the open bolt position. So your bolt is going to be open all the time, which means dirt, dust, grime, all that stuff gets inside your chamber. Not ideal. It is belt fed, which means you got to really stay on top of where you are with your ammo. That it's not getting snagged up when you're walking into buildings. It's getting snagged up on a wall. Oops, I just ran out of ammo, just like that. Things like that you have to take into consideration when using this weapon. But there is a new alternative.
The revolutionary IAR, Infantry Automatic Rifle. It combines the devastating power of the SAW with the compact size of the M4 in one weapon.
Basically what they wanted, Mac, was they wanted a weapon that a rifleman can use for his everyday duties.
Darren Mellors helped turn that brief into reality.
But in addition to that, when he's taking care of his little piece of the pie in an assault or whatever, he can lay down light support fire.
The IAR can operate in two modes. In semi-automatic, the bolt is closed, keeping out dirt and reducing weapon movement, making it more accurate. Just like the M4. In full auto, the IAR fires the first round with the bolt closed, then the rest, like the SAW, from the open bolt position. This keeps it cool and minimizes jamming. Vice President of Engineering, Jesse Gomez, gives me a quick demonstration of the IAR's bolt mechanism.
It also prevents you from having a live round in a hot chamber. You pull the trigger, bolt trigger goes forward, fires,
And
stays
locks
open.
back
That's
open.
correct.
And so the big advantage you get with an open bolt is it cools off much faster.
That is correct.
To show you just how much difference an open bolt can make when you're putting down rapid fire, I'm comparing the IAR with the standard issue infantry rifle.
This is the M4. It's a great weapon. It's very accurate and very reliable. But there are some things you have to take into consideration when firing this weapon. First and foremost, it fires from a closed bolt position, which means there's usually a round in the chamber. See that? That round could cook off, and that means basically the round could go off accidentally.
Now, let's unleash the IAR in full auto.
Drop that, shift it into semi. Okay, now check this out. There.
The bolt is cool, and there's no bullet in the chamber, so there's no risk of a round cooking off.
I dare you to try that with a lot of weapons. This weapon is designed to work.
Tom and Nick are Special Forces members. Their identities have to be protected.
It's a safe assumption to make that warfare of the future is going to be fought in cities, and so why not design light machine guns that work effectively in cities?
Inside the house, outside the house, this weapon system with its weight, its size, it gives me the ability to clear buildings, to lay down suppressive fire, to break contact, to maneuver elements on the enemy, all in one package here without giving you the drawbacks of the larger, bulkier M249.
To check out the new weapon's capability, let's run that scenario again. This time, instead of the saw, I'll be using the IAR. Now I blend in like a regular squad member, and to the enemy, I don't look like a bigger threat. But with the firepower of the IAR, you better believe I am.
Just like that, I have the same volume of fire that the saw does. I don't have to worry about any of it, and I can lay down major firepower.
Because this weapon uses standard 5.56 magazines, if I run out of ammo, I can always get another one from my teammate.
Is basically disrupt this thing so badly that the explosive chain is broken.
Yes.
And never has a chance to high order detonate.
Yes.
Easy to pour, and it's all about the time. You got to get it downrange and get it deployed and to defeat the IED.
What we'll do is pour the liquid into the powder.
Pour the liquid into the powder.
Liquid into the powder.
Got it. It's nice knowing you guys. Oh, it turns out it's really safe. And it's smart too, isn't it?
It's very smart.
Why is this so beneficial? Why not go to the armory or to the explosives locker, cut the explosive, tamp it into a piece of plastic and use it? Why would you want to go this route?
Well, it's faster.
It's a lot faster.
And, you know, in this business, speed is everything, and the storage is, if all your equipment is at hand, just allows you to get the job done faster and, in my opinion, safer.
When you're talking about being an explosive ordnance disposal technician, you got to get on site and solve a problem that is so dangerous, so deadly, so devastating, and you have very little time to handle that. What's it like?
Well, it's very stressful for one, so that's why MREL as a company, we try to minimize the number of steps in the charging sequence, for instance. So, you know, it's one less thing that the operator has to do. And
There's
as
no
you'll
math
see,
involved, really, right?
No math involved. This is all pre-measured. So, and then all that it takes now is to pour. So if you take a look,
Look at that.
down there, you can see that it's all gone wrapped around the water. So you can just let it tamp it a bit and let it settle. Good job.
Perfect.
And now it's really settled, and you're just ensuring that there are no air voids left in it.
And why is that so important?
Well, it just allows the explosive to properly propagate, or the detonation wave to go right through the liquid.
That way you control exactly where you're detonating.
That's right.
When you look through this, basically the front of the car looks unscathed. What kind of pressure were we talking about here?
Well, as soon as you put the container on the ground, you're looking at a PSI of 1.
So 1 PSI, I mean, it's like somebody breathing on you really hard, you know? But the fact of the matter is, all that stuff is still pushed out. You've got a really small debris field, no real threat out here. They've got, over here, they've got these overpressure measuring devices, so they can actually record what's actually happening out here as far as pressure, because pressure is one of the things they're really concerned with. You don't want a lot of pressure, which means a lot more collateral damage.
Anthony Clabo is a bomb squad commander with the Erie County Sheriff's Department.
We have post-blast investigators that will come out, start sifting through the thousands and thousands of little bits and pieces, every little piece of glass, every little tiny speck of dirt, every nut and bolt, everything that we can find, put that all together. There's an awful lot of evidence that's there that we can collect up and then hopefully go after the person that built it.
Time for Aquaram's ultimate test.
IEDs come in all shapes and sizes, but imagine the nightmare scenario of a container like this, packed full of explosives, then trucked to a location or shipped to a port. For the bomb tech that has to handle this threat, they have to be incredibly careful and absolutely precise.
On this type of material, you're going to be the first to see. We've never fired multiple containers.
Okay, so this is an exclusive.
It is. It's the first time that we will have fired dual Aquaram Maxes.
Terrorists could use this huge shipping container to create a horrendous explosion with devastating consequences. But not if Aquaram gets there first.
How much trouble are we in? All right, well, you know what? We're in a lot of trouble.
We are.
If this went off, just this right here, if this alone went off, what kind of damage are we talking about?
I'll just simply state that it would be a catastrophic event.
So catastrophic, it has the potential to wipe out an entire city block, killing thousands of people.
So, let's get rid of the threat.
That's it. Threat will be removed.
This massive bomb is equivalent to over 3/4 of a ton of TNT, which means we have to withdraw to a safe distance just in case.
Whenever you're ready, Mac.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is awesome. Range is clear? Yeah. Range is clear. Come on through. All right, look at that. Look how swollen that thing looks right there. You can definitely see the ammonium nitrate being spread out right there in the back. All the evidence is left intact, right?
It's in there.
It's great. But you never had a secondary explosion with any of the ammonium nitrate, so that's exactly what you're looking for. Look at that, that's fantastic. A gigantic hole. If I need to get inside there, no problem. Look at this. This is great. You got two of those big Aquaram Maxes going off, and this is it. You got water. Essentially, all that came out of here was water. I mean, compared to what would have happened if those things would have gone off, all of this stuff would have been shredded. All of this stuff would have been sent flying in all kinds of different directions.
The two Aquaram Max tactical disruptors are fired. The water rips through the container and out the other side. The bomb mechanism is destroyed so quickly, the explosives don't have time to detonate. It's fast, it's clean, and the evidence is preserved with minimal collateral damage, so you can see why it will save lives.
This weapon system is designed to defeat a terrorist at one of his worst weapons that he's created.
Absolutely. And with tools like these, we're putting them into the hands of bomb technicians and EOD specialists in the military, and hopefully we can take a bite out of this increasing terrorism.
The last thing the enemy wants to face on the battlefield is a highly trained sniper with the latest state-of-the-art weapon. So I'm on my way to Titusville, Florida, to take a look at the most recent sniper rifle to be adopted by the U.S. Army. Knights Armament has been developing and manufacturing weapons for over 25 years. Their latest contract: supply the U.S. Army with more than 3,000 sniper rifles of the future. It will support U.S. military operations for many years to come. And best of all, it's semi-automatic.
It reaches out and touches the enemy at 800 meters and gives the enemy a bad day.
Brigadier General Mark Brown fully supports the U.S. Army's decision to make the M110 operational.
It's a 10-round or a 20-round magazine. Doesn't require the sniper to pull off the target. He can engage in a target-rich environment or a fleeting target environment in a much faster way.
So snipers can engage the target and, more importantly, stay on target.
Semi-automatic fire capability, rapid reload capability. The rail system allows you to put on aiming devices, lasers, clip-on night sights. You don't have to remove your day optic sight. It always stays on. You just simply use thermal or night vision, whatever you need, to snap on it.
This is the tried and trusted M24, the main sniper rifle currently in service with the U.S. Army. Also known as the Remington 700, it's a bolt-action weapon that fires the 7.62 millimeter round. There are many great rifles that have seen service in the U.S. military. And nearly all of them are here at Knights Armament.
This would be about 1942, 1941. So it was World War II, our main battle sniper rifle.
Reed Knight is the mastermind behind the M110. He draws on his historical collection of firearms to learn lessons for his modern designs.
This was a battle rifle, which is an 03. So it was World War II, our main battle sniper rifle for the U.S.
What kind of range are we talking about?
Probably 1,100, 1,200 meters. Wow. So it had good range to it.
That's incredible.
So.
What about the optics, though?
Well, the optics were hurting. I mean, you know, you certainly could not tell if it was friend or foe at those kind of ranges. This is the M21, but this was of the Vietnam era in the 70s. That was a good gun.
Absolutely, and it was effective. It was accurate.
Semi-automatic. that knew they needed it and everything else. But none of these semi-automatics were as good as the bolt-action guns. The bolt-action guns always had more accuracy, always had more reliability. So we haven't really changed the technology of the weapon. What we have changed in our battles is our target acquisition, our fire controls.
I'm about to find out how well the U.S. Army's new sniper rifle performs. But first, let's see what the M24, the most common bolt-action sniper rifle in the field, is capable of. I've teamed up with former U.S. Army sniper Chuck Olson.
Send him when you're ready.
You ready?
Ready. Send him.
I'm going to fire 5 rounds at the targets as quickly as I can.
Target. 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 Hold 3 o'clock 1 inch. Target.
Center mass.
Yep. Good to go. Good shoot.
I hit all 5 targets in just over 10 seconds.
Not too bad on the time, but the disadvantage is it is 1 round at a time. I have to use my muscles to adjust that, which changes my firing position just a little bit every time. So I've got to be really quick, and you got to train to get your eye back on that target very quickly.
The bolt-action M24, though incredibly accurate, has significant limitations in terms of its rate of fire. The U.S. Army wanted something faster, but just as lethal.
The Army came out for a requirement for a rifle that they wanted that would be a semi-automatic, as accurate as possible, had to weigh under 15 pounds, had to have an intricate silencer to it, it had to have an adjustable buttstock, it had to have ambidextrous controls on it, and had to have a bipod. It does a very good job, and we're excited about doing it.
Time to put the M110 to the test. I'll fire 5 rounds at 5 targets. Distance to the target is 220 yards.
Shooter ready?
Ready.
Send it. Target. Target. Center, stay there, target.
Just like that.
That's nice. Nice groups.
5 targets in 5 seconds. Half the time it took the bolt-action M24.
And that could be all the difference in the world for you guys to get out of there, isn't it?
Oh, definitely.
The attachment of a suppressor brings some big advantages. It reduces muzzle flash, which makes me less visible to the enemy. Essential for a sniper. The suppressor's main function, though, is to dampen the sound of the shot. That's why I don't need to wear ear protection here. On a sniper mission in hostile territory, that reduction in sound could save more than just my hearing. Plus, I have a rapid reload from my magazine, so I've got plenty of rounds if I need to get my guys out of trouble. Now I'll fire the M110 at the same targets at the distance of 220 yards, but this time the range is flooded with smoke.
Just like that. Through smoke, no problem. Targets removed.
Target. 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 Target.
So the M110 has the versatility to be used through smoke, but what about when the sun sets? The company has designed its own night sights, but just how good are they?
Teach me about your night vision capability.
Basically what we're looking at here is our long-range night sight. This gives the sniper the ability to acquire targets 800, 1,000, even 1,200 meters, depending on what the lighting situation is.
At what distance are we talking about facial recognition?
200 meters, you can get solid facial recognition on a target. Whether they're looking at you, looking away, have their mouth open or not, depending on, what clothing they have on. You can pick it up quite well.
Perfect. And if you have to, say you're running into a situation where you're coming through warehouses, things of that nature, where you've got bright daylight outside, you come in here and you may have a 500-yard shot, depending on what's going on in that particular area. You can actually clip this thing on instantaneously, and now you have the night vision capability.
Right.
While patrolling in an urban environment, my reconnaissance can take me in and out of buildings, from light to pitch black in the blink of an eye. With the night sight clipped onto the gun, I have the flexibility to engage the enemy without having to change my optics. A great operational advantage. The M110 has the potential to take sniping to a whole new level. So how has it performed in the field?
We fielded it actually in Afghanistan with the 10th Mountain Division, and it came back to rave reviews. And so we're still completing the testing and wrapping up the testing, and we should expect to have it start fielding to the first unit equipped in 2009.
I was definitely impressed. When you know how it's manufactured and the tolerances they're taking into consideration for a semi-automatic weapon, it's really incredible.
Right.
I've just seen how the sniper has a new weapon that can engage more targets with speed and accuracy. Now, thousands of miles away, ground-to-air missile defense operators want to do the exact same thing. I've come to Sweden, where the Army has granted me access to a restricted firing range on the edge of the Baltic for a first look at their very latest missile system. This is the RBS-70. The basic system has been around for a number of years, but it's recently been upgraded to transform it into a true future weapon. Now it's effective against a much bigger range of ground and airborne targets, day or night. Today's fighter aircraft are multi-million-dollar supersonic technological wonders. As they've become smarter, so too must the countermeasures. That's why the RBS-70 has to be able to take out anything from a tank to another missile.
You can use it in the middle of a city, deploy on rooftops. You can use it in the field.
The key to this new missile system is the longer range, higher altitude Bolide missile. Its extra striking range allows it to take out more airborne threats, even cruise missiles. Aki Soderlund has been working with Swedish air defense systems for more than 30 years.
Over the years, things have changed a lot. From the original 5 kilometers, today we have 8-kilometer range with the Bolide.
And you also raised the ceiling too, that you go after targets up to 15,000 feet in the air.
The most important thing is the capability of Bolide also to engage the very small targets. Such as cruise missiles, UAVs.
It's adapted itself for the changing environment that it's actually going to have to confront.
Yes.
The portable system uses sophisticated laser tracking. First, the operator trains the beam onto the target. Once the missile is fired, it tracks this beam all the way to the target. Because it's a one-way laser-based communication, it's impossible to jam. Not only does the Bolide missile have a longer range, but its proximity fuse can detonate in 3 different modes, effective against a wide range of targets. Coming up, a live test of the RBS-70 missile system. team is all that's needed to transport and set up the system. Because the RBS-70 is so light, these three-man units can easily slip behind enemy defenses. But on their own, they are only effective against targets within visual range. If your target is coming in fast, you need a little help.
How do you stack the advantages in your favor? You add this beast right here. It's a radar system. Now you can tell several RBS-70s exactly what's happening in that area and pick a target and take it out.
The Giraffe radar system can detect a target up to 25 miles away, long before it's within visual range. Several Giraffes can combine to cover many square miles and give the guys in the field a clear picture of all aerial threats. But it doesn't stop there. In fully automatic mode, once it's identified the threat, it can work out which unit is in the best position to engage the target. Today, the RBS-70 is taking part in a live fire training exercise for the Swedish soldiers who will operate it and must deliver that capability on the battlefield. For these men and women, this test is not just about graduation. Some of them will soon be serving in Afghanistan with the United Nations. This is also my first chance to see it in action.
This is it. This is the real bad boy. It feels really comfortable to be able to use. As you use the front sight here, kind of see where it's at, lock that front sight into the place, see it, and then you would come right to the eye relief from there. So once you're here, my eye goes from here, seeing it generally in that place, then I come to this. That kind of represents the circle I see inside.
Today's target is a simulated enemy missile. A 9-meter-long tube towed 1.5 miles behind a plane. Each soldier has only one chance to get this right. If this was a real cruise missile and they missed it, the warhead would hit its target. The missile tracks the laser target line. The gunner just keeps his crosshairs on the target for the beam-riding missile to automatically zero in on that target all the way to impact.
You did a brilliant job, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, how'd it feel?
At least it went down.
Now, it definitely went down. You sunk it right out of the sky. You blew it up. It's a really smart system, right?
It is. It's very simple, easy to handle, and
when you think about what you have to do to be able to line that side up, kind of just take me through the process.
Well, our radar will give me tones in my ear, a dark and a light tone, so I know what way to move my sight. The command inside the vehicle gives me permission to fire when the target is at range.
I think you did a fantastic job. Congratulations,
Thank you, sir.
man. You were brilliant. Very impressive system, very accurate. Pretty much the last thing an aircraft wants to see.